Hi everyone, welcome to Z2R. Sorry. Today we have another Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament 2022. So it's round 2 match here between Tyvarius and DeviousRNG. I'm starring with me on commentary today is Mariah. How are you doing?
I'm well. Hello.
Hello. I can't hear you. I assume anyone in chat can't hear you as well. How are you?
I'm well. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. What is happening? I can also hear chat. Yes, hello everyone. I'm just gonna point something out before we get started here. I think both of our runners have the wrong channel showing on their streams. It's _4, isn't it? Not just 4.
It's _4, yeah.
Yeah, they're redirecting people to something that doesn't exist right now.
Forgot to mention that to them. But yes, hi everyone. I am the most awake person on the commentary team. Although I have also been severely multitasking, so hence a little bit of scary. Hi, Jack.
Wait,
You're all doing
can you
well.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you. Can you hear me?
What? Is that you, Animus?
Can you hear
Sorry.
me?
Yes. We're good. I think we're good. Let's rock and roll, folks. Where's that countdown?
Countdown is starting soon. Sorry about that. We just seem to be all over the place today. Apologies.
We have good news though. There's not going to be any vanilla biomes in this custom flag set that our two runners are running here.
There is that. They have specifically decided, particularly Devious, who got an unbeatable seed versus Animus last week, that they would not do that this time. So we will at least not get clunked with that, and I don't need to. I do not need to go take up my map to look at.
Yeah, so I mean, this should be a little bit more interesting than the standard vanilla we've been seeing a lot of lately.
Yep. In fact, last time I commentated, Vanilla East, Vanilla West, and Vanilla Shuffle DM, so this is a nice change from that, as we're off, finally. Apologies. Chat having the opinion that this is one of the best intros in Z2R. Well,
I
glad we're
agree.
Yeah. You actually good there, Mariah? Because you just seemed completely confused for a bit there.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
I can hear you. You can hear me, and chat can hear us both. We're good, it seems. All
That's
right.
a formula for success right there.
I actually couldn't tell if you were messing with me in the intro there.
Well, we got a hammer in P-Bag Pillar Cave today.
Yep, we do. Looking like a vanilla. We don't have vanilla or vanilla shuffle, but we do have a vanilla-like.
Which is not the same, but totally okay in my book.
Open space available to us, and that really only shows up in vanilla-like. Along with what looks to be a pretty good-sized body of water running down the south middle part of the map. Yeah, that is vanilla shuffle, alright.
Love this one tile pathway right here that isn't mountainous, but I saw one of these in a seed the other day, which was kind of weird. It had 2 caves along these little weird areas that it puts up against the edge of the map. Very cool.
Yeah, fairly defining characteristic of this biome. Hey, we can actually cross to the southeast side of things. Oftentimes the map puts a giant bay in the south middle there, and then you're forced to go the long way around. Or find boots, alternatively, as you get a heart container off Stonehenge.
And a 1-up out of Magic Container Cave.
Alright, so yep, Divergent here. Tyvarius going southeast, Devious going up north, relative to their starting position. And we've got a cave to a Ride Canyon east here,
This could spell the end for Tyvarius. This is not going to be a fun thing to get out of. I'm not even sure you can get out of it. These doors, he's bopping them. They take 3 full heart containers. I think that's an immediate game over at that point.
Yeah.
No veteran is going to be able to get out of that randomness.
It's a pretty nasty one to find 2 minutes into a seed, yeah. At that point, you just step A. Got a palace here just north of start for Devious. Tyvarius going to go find that one up now. Oh, GP. Okay, well, I guess we know we can get back to that real fast. Rudo here has shield in it. Okay. And the Pastor Cave. Alright.
Yeah.
Hey, Slavely. Yeah, we're kind of busy Saturday afternoon here at ZSR. We're on CSR 4 today. That is a death for Tyvarius. That is a lot of water here for Devious, who is finding Palace 2. Rather nice lavender color. We'll be back there later.
Hopefully this doesn't get devious. Oh, it is Fairy Cave. It was either going to be Parappa or Fairy based on the back side of the cave that we saw from his check on the southern side of the mountain range there. We have these linear caves, so once you see that pass through in one direction, you know that pass through just connects to the other direction from the top side, and so it gets a little dangerous as you see him wasting one of his lives there and falling into the pit of Fairy Cave.
Yep. Vanilla like west, typical, large amounts of water, fairly split in half north-south, and also fairly quadrantically as well, with multiple quadrants. So now we're in the northwest quadrant, more or less, as we find Mido, which has life in it. Okay, game.
We're going in.
Is quadrantic a word? I don't know if I'm making it up.
Pedantic or quadratic? What?
Quadratic. Quadrants, but the adjective form, which probably doesn't make sense.
Well, there are. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Chat, can you hear us?
This is just going to become a running joke for the rest of this restream.
This is amazing. I hope they can hear us. We're in Trophy Cave.
Yep. Trophy Cave for Devious. You can't hear me, right, Mirai?
Can anyone hear Star? I can't hear Star. As long as we can both hear, as long as chat can hear both of us, we're good. Was that a big fat pea bag there in Trophy Cave?
Yep.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was a pea bag in Trophy Cave. No, I'm actually genuinely serious. I can hear me more clearly, because I know my internet is funky and Discord.
Star, I can hear you. I think. Yes. Okay. All right. We'll let it calm down for maybe like 10 minutes or so. Here's your water. Here's your river, wide body of water that breaks up our continent on at least one of the compartments.
Yep, this one's separating the northwest and northeast quadrants. I would call this a big bay, being on the edge of, ending on the edge of the map instead of a big old lake we had in the south part of the map.
I get a hint here from King's Tomb. Knows nothing.
Yep.
The senile old woman in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Did anyone catch the hints for trophy or medicine, by the way? Because I kind of zoned out on both from
we
Devious.
didn't, as far as we know. We didn't go in. We just saw the town name, and we did not go further into the towns at that point.
Okay,
So unless Tyvarius shows, ho, he won flute.
What's that names with a flute? Okay, well, once we find Horsehead, that would be helpful. Go east to find the trophy. Thank you, chat. And it's our tracker doing better job of reading than we did. We'll see the medicine again here. As we find both Rauru and Saria right next to each other in the northeast. We've got fire in Rauru.
So that's P5 medicine. Yeah, we didn't see that before because, again, Devious dipped into these and didn't get it today. Which is a thing. You may not want to walk all those screens just for a hint on the trophy for shield, or 3 screens in Mito without jump at the very least to get down stab as well to get the hint from medicine. So yeah.
Fire is 49, which is castable here in Magic 3, though Devious won't do so just yet. That does cost just over 3 magic bars at Magic 3 here. And by just over, I mean by 1 point, because the game likes to do that. We'll see what... We've also got our final palace on the west here, which is going to be P5.
So 2, 5, and GP.
Yep, jump here in Saria. Okay. Yeah, 2, 5, and GP in the west, which leaves 1, 3, 4, and 6 in Maze Island and the east.
So now we're going to be able to go on Devious' side. We'll be able to go back to Mito, get that down stab technique, and if he wants the hint for the medicine, which he doesn't know yet, he can get that. If Tyvarius heads back into Mito again after getting jump, and if he wants to come back then a third time to turn in the medicine for the life spell, you know, that's where that first dip into the town. You look at the sign, you're like, I don't want to walk that many screens to get the hint. We'll just kind of look around. Maybe we'll get jump, maybe we'll get fairy, and come back. And then instead of triple dipping, we'll only have to double dip. So depends on what Tyvarius does. He might not be back. He might not get the medicine out of P5. Who knows? But Devious will likely go in there with the jump spell into Mito with the jump spell, get his down stab, and get the medicine hint as well.
Yep. Checking out the caves here in the northeastern part of the map for Devious, as Tyvarius crosses this bridge.
We may have a bit of a segment. It's hard to know right now because we saw Tyvarius walk into a cave that took him to the east, and then he took to death, and then he headed west on the western continent after that. So we don't really know what's further to the southeast from start, or directly east from start, I guess I should say. The southeast corner of the map. We don't know if that's fully accessible or not right now, but if it's not, these pass-throughs that Devious is in might take us down there.
Yeah, because we have not... We've seen the northwest and southwest quadrants pretty well. That's a nice glove to find. We've seen the northwest... We've seen both western quadrants pretty well. We've seen the north... And we're clearly clearing the northeastern quadrant, but we really haven't seen the southeastern quadrant very much yet. Although this is pretty... Okay, so there's the eastern edge of the map, and that's the north. Alright, so that's about that in this quadrant. Devious... Not sure where he's going right now. There's not a lot else he can do up here.
Was there not a pass-through down here? It might have been... I might be imagining things.
Also, apparently fire is linked to fairy, which is a very nice observation. Thank you, Animus. Always good to have.
That's perfect. I was going to say, did we get a fire check? Is that Tyvarius who showed us that?
I think so.
Okay.
Because I was looking more at Devious' side since he was further along in exploring the northern part of the map.
Oh, it looks like I might have a Bagoo block. There's this cave down here. Yes, below Hard Container Cave. There was a cave.
This is a pass-through because Devious looked at it and bailed out earlier. But okay. Yeah, Saria could be a pass-through to like a little bit of land in the southeastern quadrant they haven't seen yet. Devious has not been to the southeastern quadrant at all, so he's heading there using this pass-through. So we'll see where this puts him.
He's either got a bouncy cat or a beanstalk in there. Can't see the enemy. Hard to tell.
Okay, so now we're in the northern part of the southeast quadrant. This might be Bagoo. Nope. Okay, that's nothing over there. One of the challenges is sometimes the vanilla-like biomes are super open-ended, so deciding on which direction to go can be fun. Devious can head straight east and south to the connector to the east, in fact, and skip out on the rest of this quadrant for now.
I think he's about to run into the same fate as Tyvarius in 3, 2, 1.
Yep, although he can fairy his way out. 0 health. There's a trophy.
Oh,
okay.
there was the trophy for Tyvarius. He was one. It was 3 doors essentially, 3 desert tiles to pick from. He picked the middle one. And it ended up being the terrible encounter. Had he just gone to the bottom right one, it would have been the trophy. Would have been into Rudo, which we know is shield, and that would have been a quick pickup and nice for him when he saw that earlier.
Cave to Maze Island, right next to the cave to the east. Cave to the west. Sorry.
So we have Raft Tile, Maze Island Bridge still at large, Death Mountain still at large. We'll have to see how we get around with those connectors.
Yep, so Devious is going to take an immediate walk around Maze Island, see if he can find the items and the palace. The palace is in the southeast corner, I guess? No sign of it yet. And this layout looks horrendous. There we are. Okay, middle of the map. Middle south.
Yeah, I like this play. As long as you're confident with killing the Lizolfos, looks like he's definitely able to do that with only 70 for the orange, although you wish you got a little bit more for the orange guys.
Yeah, especially because they took a lot of hits to take down.
Boots in.
Okay, boots in the east. Funny on a dried canyon, thanks.
Yeah, we'll see how useful those are.
Because it was probably of some use in the west. It's of most likely zero use in a dried canyon east. You can on very rare occasions get very badly placed lakes in canyon east, but they're rare. Tyvarius taking Saria to get through to what is our final item cave on the west. Let's see what this is. Could be big for Tyvarius because Devious went south by a different route and never got here.
Wow, looks like it's a little busy in Medicine Cave today. We got a red Dyra and looks like a potential Guria, but being able to ferry over this is nice.
No sign of either item in Maze Island just yet for Devious.
Oh, what a bad placement for an invulnerable Octorok there.
Yeah. Devious is going to be able to take an Abbey here at P4. And that is certainly a shade of yellow here.
We have a heart in Medicine Cave, and we did see the Maze Island Bridge there in the southwest corner of Maze Island. We'll have to see where that goes, although I don't expect it to give us, unless it's to Death Mountain, if it goes back to the east or something, it's going to not be that big of a deal. Still no items, though. I'm not sure they exist in today's seed.
Yeah, this game does not seem to be cooperative. There's trophy for Tyvarius, and I totally missed where the bridge went to for Devious.
He didn't check it. There was an encounter right before it, so he decided to check over here first.
Gotcha. And we've seen the grass tile, we've seen Stonehenge in the west. That was in the northeastern quadrant, I believe, somewhere or another.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but I want to say it was like a pea bag or something.
I know I have all 6 items in the last written down. I just don't write down which specifically each was, and here's it. Oh, graphical glitch and the first item for Devious. Yep. Yeah, and I have all 6 items written down in the west as we find a cross. Well, it's an item, of dubious usefulness, but it's an item. Tyvarius, also exploring.
Yeah, Tyvarius went south from the entrance points, which is why he's in the same cave as Devious. As Devious took the long route along the top. It looks like our other item is going to be in an inside section there that there were 3 branches to take from the cave that we entered, and we've seen 2 of them so far. But the third one went through the middle of the island, and we haven't seen it just yet. Or I could slightly be wrong on that. We're missing a small section of it regardless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is one of those where you'd really like the boots to get past that river easier, because this is not conducive to exploration.
Depending on how confident our runners with Fairy Feet. We could just Fairy Feet that encounter right before that Maze Island check. Oh, here we go.
Oh, never mind. It was just right there. Magic jar. Okay.
So Tyvarius,
Well,
Tyvarius is actually able to clear Maze Island a little bit faster because of the route that he just chose to go and do this. And so he won't be exploring the top section of Maze Island at all, probably. And he's got his two items at the same time as Devious here.
Yep, pretty much. Devious, who is going to go check out where this bridge goes, and Tyvarius is just going to up and out of here. Alright, that's a choice. Doesn't feel like hiking all the way back, I guess.
Yeah,
Tyvarius does know it's actually pretty easy to get back to the east from their starting point since he found that early. Really, game? That bridge just took him straight back to the top of the eastern map, which dumps you out right next to P3 or 6. Okay, that went effectively nowhere.
So that means we have Raft DM here.
Yep,
somewhere.
they did. Oh hey, 5 magic jars for the first item here in New Kasuto. I also completely missed the spell as we find a heart container.
It is Fairy Town, which I doubt we'll be picking up.
Yeah, no need to, because they start with when they have fire.
I didn't see what was in Darunia, though, as Tyvarius walks in there, except that Rebo rides with a
candle, and I also missed the spell out of Old Kasuto. Move to the top impressive eventually. That is Reflect out of Old Kasuto. And Thunder was in Darunia. Thank you, chat. I think that was somewhere in the middle of the map, because I actually missed where exactly it went. This is going to be upstab for Tyvarius. Or at least I think the cave from the west to the east is in the middle of the map. I'm not actually completely sure. There's no Buru, which has the spell. Yeah.
I wonder what these weird graphical glitches we're seeing on Devious' side are. I'm pretty sure he does not play on a console, so could be wrong on that, but I don't think so.
It doesn't seem like it. I don't know what the cause is either. River Devil being as useless as ever as we find Sunken P-Vac Cave. To be expected for a River Devil to be completely useless in a dried canyon. It's exceedingly rare to have overworld blocks of any kind in dried canyons. They're pretty much the nicest maps that exist. Usually. Chroma has some too sometimes, yeah. I thought Chroma played on console, I could be wrong.
Yeah, Chroma plays on console.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, Chroma's graphical glitches, if you're referring to the weird tile placement on his screen at times, that's either based on the ROM he uses or his power pack. Something is weird and broken in that area. When Devious, we're seeing like weird flickers and stuff, like the drop as we came into one of the Maze Island drop into the items there had a weird flicker as he entered it 2 times.
Mm-hmm. Spell Tower here for Devious is going to be quite a decent chance it's the boots, because you know those are in these, so they haven't turned up yet. They were not in Sunken P-Vac Cave or Tyvarius, so they're either here or in, I think, Risen P-Vac Cave at this point.
Yeah, Child was in Sunken, and we're gonna get our Thunder turn in here.
And chat confirming I haven't gone nuts. Our item locations in the east remaining are Spell Tower, Risen P-Vac Cave, and the Water Tile. And the Water Tile shouldn't have our boots. If they do, something's gone very, very weird.
I stand corrected on the fairy pickup. Devious wants both Fire Fairy and Fairy Fairy. Wants to complete the spellbook, perhaps.
Yeah, Devious doesn't have the hint for boots, no, I don't think. Doesn't much matter, because there they are.
I will say that no runner gets any bonus points for completing their spellbook in this.
Nope. Gotta compare the 2 magic costs, I guess. I actually don't know how much fire cost at Magic 4. I know it was 49 for Fire and Magic 3, but usually it gets to be pretty cheap on higher Magic levels.
Yeah, it's gonna be dirt cheap. If it's not matching it now, it'll probably be dirt cheap by the Magic 5.
Usually either Magic 5 or Magic 6 it drops down to like 10 or 20, yeah. I've seen it. I'm not sure where the lowest a spell cost can go, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it below 10 before. Water tile. I totally missed the spell costs there, and we've got the Indie Keep. Why not?
Wow,
Sure.
very nice. So we are fully equipped and ready, like we're double ready for palaces at this point. Nothing can stop us. Glove, I guess we're triple ready. Glove, fairy, and the key, and that's it. That's it. Game's over. Just finish it.
I guess because even I was just thinking Three-Eyed Rock, but no, we've now seen 2 of our 3 West Eastern palaces, and the 4th must be the 3rd must be in the Valley of Death. So yep. As we find P1 here in the middle of the map, this is also the flute I was thinking that we were missing.
Yeah, Tyvarius is just missing the boots into water tile, and then he'll be good.
Yep.
And Devious is missing the child into Thunder, and then he'll match Tyvarius there.
Also, according to our chat, apparently at present on Magic 4, Fairy is 35 and Fire is 28. That's kind of funny, actually.
Perfect.
Thanks, King. So yeah, pretty close between our runners right now. Tyvarius is just a hair behind, but that's not saying a lot. And it's mostly dungeon clear mode for both.
Pretty much, yeah.
Tyvarius just needs to find the last couple items in the east. He's gonna find Reflect and Fairy. Yeah, here, there's not much left to do for either runner.
Tyvarius just picked up Spell. That was in Nibiru, right?
Spell was in Nibiru, correct?
Roger that.
You want a nice dark red color here. I don't mind this too much. Pretty easy on the eyes. Oof, taking a death there to the Iron Knuckle.
Yeah, I was not paying attention to alter routing, so I don't know where Devious has seen yet. He didn't like that room upstairs, and we're not going right. We're going back left through this Iron Knuckle. I don't know where we came from exactly.
I don't know either, to be honest with you, so... He's trying to get the experience here, because he spelled the Iron Knuckle on the way through in the other direction, but is trying to beat him up and failing.
Yeah, I was going to say you can do one of two things here. You can go high with the gem spell or go high without the gem spell. When you have the glove, you can break off one of those bricks and jump up there. Man, you just... I don't know what to call that. Jump up there just standard without the spell. Oh. He saw the boss. Okay, he must have maybe he was looking for just doing a quick item check. I don't know.
Perhaps. I'm not sure he got the flute, and he doesn't need it in any case. He should know he doesn't need any items at this point in the game.
Yeah, that hint was in Mido, so he did not get a chance to go in. Or, no, he never even went back for down stab yet. No, he didn't. Okay, yeah, so he hasn't been back that way.
Yeah, he does need a child out of the east, I forgot that, but he should have read a hint that the child is in the east. I don't remember 100% if he's been in Darunia yet, but that's, I guess, the one thing for Devious right now, and he'll find Darunia eventually. More graphical glitches, that is really disorienting. And here's Darunia, okay.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately, he's going to walk 3 screens, get to hint to the kids on the east, and it's like in the neighboring cave, and then he's going to have to walk back. And this is where the game trolls you, and this is why a lot of runners, you'll see them just not want to go into Mido early on. Even if Mido ends up being Fairy or Thunder, it's like, I'll be back, because it might just be sitting on the west somewhere, and you don't want to walk all those screens all the time. The time adds up.
It does, and very small time differences can really matter.
That was the magic key there, a water tile for Tyvarius. He also has a trophy as well from the for the desert tile.
Yep, need to update the tracker. And he's gonna head for the valley.
And the boots.
And the boots, yeah. There's the hint for Devious. And he's
going back.
Okay. Not sure why. Yeah, Valley Death has either 3 or 6, the others in the far north of the east. I'm just confused. Ouch for that game over for Tyvarius.
We're both back in the west now. Fantastic.
Yeah, Devious, I guess, wants downstab. That's possible. Animus might be more comfortable doing Reba with that, and he knows P3 is on the east. And
this is true.
He doesn't need Thunder anytime fast anyway. I suppose he'll be back. Just a little interesting. Tyvarius' game over forced it back to the last where he wanted it. So
yeah, Devious also not having found Medicine Cave might be thinking that there's just still one outstanding location over here that could be useful.
Not sure what he would want over here at this point, admittedly. Candlelight? So we know it's in the P3. I'm not sure if he saw that hint.
I don't think he did.
Neither of them are going to beat, what is that again? P2 just yet. That's the one they were walking past in the northwest quadrant. My notes suck. Can't understand my young notes sometimes. I take detailed notes, I just can't always tell what they are 15 minutes later.
Maybe you should add a little bit more detail.
They're short and concise. My mental map is just my sense of direction is non-existent. My mental map apparently got quit. It's a combination of notes and a mental map to keep me from being completely lost because of my non-existent sense of direction. This will be P2 for Devious. May as well. No real reason not to. You're here. You might as well beat it.
Hoping for a quick helmet head and not being buried 22 rooms in a linear path.
Yeah. Well, yeah, about that.
22 rooms, 2 rooms. I mean,
what's the difference? Oh, I do love the downstab sprite for Samus here is just the balls. Samus, how does one pronounce that name? I do not play the Metroid series, I'll admit, but that's a neat sprite. Tyvarius not going to beat P2 yet.
I say Samus. I'm pretty sure it's Samus.
Well, Helmet Head is trolling Devious though. Yowp, as Tyvarius gets into P5, which is a nice dark forest green here.
Alright, there we go.
And according to chat, it's Samus, thank you. There we are, indeed. 50 points. Blah. I think Devious will probably just take the level and get Blade 5.
Is this a P5 that we're in on Tyvarius' side?
This is,
A Brave Soul. That's going to be an attack 3 Guma, perhaps. Maybe that 640 is... I don't know if that 640 is attack 4. Devious about to find his medicine cave here. Did Tyvarius head back into Rudo to get the shield spell or not? Because if it didn't, this is going to be a rough Guma.
I don't think he did. Which, yeah, especially Tyvarius is newer, and attack-free Guma is, nobody's idea of fun, I don't think. There's Devious picking up the final item on the west there, which is another heart container. He'll take that.
Tyvarius hanging on for dear life here. It looks like it might have been an accidental fairy cast. He probably wanted to cast fairy, perhaps, to get over that little Guma, but cast fairy seemingly on the ground and then took a hit as a result. And
now we've got both runners in 2-5. Devious with the better levels is the main difference between the two, and you do want good levels for 5. It is the longest of the regular palaces, and Guma will hit like a truck.
Yeah, so well, here's our item for Devious. So this will be the medicine. But what I was going to say is that GP is on the west, and P5 is on the west. So unless you needed something out of P5, which we know we didn't necessarily, unless you really wanted the life spell before you fought Guma, that is. You wouldn't need to do P5 before GP or before any of the other palaces necessarily. And you could just do P5 last, where you would be stacked with levels right before you go into GP, and you'd probably be in much better shape. We have P1, P3, and P6. P1, P3, and P6 on the east, and then P4 on Maze Island. So you got a bunch of other stuff you can be doing, especially with Reflect being free, before you jump into P5. Again, these levels are they're questionable. It's going to be rough, perhaps. Especially without shield, it's going to be rough. Even at life 5, I think that's going to be like a 2-shot from Guma. If not, it's going to be a sliver of health left, I think. So it might be a 3-shot at life 5. But life 4, I don't know. Tyvarius has an extra heart container, so I guess we'll see how that plays out if we can reach Guma on both of our runners so we compare. Star, can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Good.
Sorry, got momentarily sidetracked as we see our runners run through P5 here. What was the item in here?
Medicine.
Ah, yeah, that was written down on the sheet. That's me being a scatterbrain. Thank you for the reminder.
We went in for that. We went in for the Mito hint on Tyvarius early on, and then we got it on Devious as well when he went in for downstab that first time. I think this might be new territory on Tyvarius' side here. Getting a little trolled by the double Moa Crumble Bridge room. It's a tricky one to go right from left without a fairy cast. Totally possible, but you do have to get used to that and learn the timing of the Moas. To clarify further on that, if you're going left to right, 99% of the time the Moas will stack on each other and make it a very easy room. When moving right to left, the Moas are always separate, and so you have to deal with 2 separate Moas when their trajectory is right in the player's path there along the top side there of the Crumble Bridge. It just makes it a lot tougher.
Yep.
I think Devious is looking for a P-bag here, something to get him that level. Because this isn't dead end otherwise.
Death instead. He is 101 points now off that level. Not sure how. Don't remember how much this P-bag was. Well, combined, those are enough. That is magic 5. I think fire has dropped to below 20 now, which is nice cost-wise. I think it's still more than 16, but I think it's like 18. Not completely sure. It is nice to have a fairly cheap fairy. 18.
You can say that again.
Areas. What?
Huh?
What? Sorry? As Tyvarius finds Guma.
Good times. Good times. I said you could say that again when it comes down to having a cheap fairy.
Oh, sorry. Brain's not working properly, I think.
That's fine. You couldn't hear me. We've been having some communication difficulty in Discord.
I genuinely can't tell if you're serious, because it does concern me as a restreamer, for all joking aside. we need to stop having these early 3 p.m. streams. This is a perfectly normal hour for me, Admis, but I think, I think I at least was the most alert member of this restream crew, considering apparently both Ryan and Admis woke up just before this started.
Well, I'm normally I would like to be up well before this time, but yeah, well, sleep schedule shift at times. So I don't know if either one of our runners is going the right way here. We've got Tyvarius potentially in new territory.
Tyvarius found Guma a second ago, but I think he gave.
Oh, he did. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's. I think he's trying to get back there right now.
Big slammer in chat.
Completely wrong, Slummy, saying 3 p.m. part 2 or lazy 2 races start at 11. Well, not necessarily always that late. The Slamu does like to start races at 11, I've noticed. But the vast majority of Z2R races do start at 5 p.m. Eastern or later. Probably over half at 8 p.m. or later. We are the most night owl of people in the community that I know of around Rando, at least. Although Z1R can also get pretty night owlish, I've noticed at times.
Yeah, this is a tricky room for Tyvarius here. It does have a very special setup, at least the way that I do it, when we're not going to be using fairy. He doesn't have enough for any magic cast, so he's trying to do this the just straightforward way here.
And I'm sorry to any Europeans noting that most Z2R races aren't stupid o'clock for them. That's, well, we are mostly a very degen North American community.
Devious taking a death there, just what seemed to be frames away from exiting and being in zombie mode and into the lava for Tyvarius. Yeah, you can't walk off that bridge. You just don't fall into the right spot. You can't get knocked off it or walk off it. You have to just you have to do a little hop.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's a lot of we got Devious in the same room here as well. We'll see what he does. He's got plenty of magic. He's probably, well, we'll see. I think he can make it here. Just a little down stab, boop, and underneath this one, and he's out.
Yep.
So Tyvarius having, I think, spent 2 lives in that room and now down to his final life. I don't know where Devious is sitting. I think he's sitting with at least 1 in reserve because he did take that death in a previous bridge room. So I think, again, I think Devious has got 1 in reserve. Tyvarius has none in reserve, just reaching attack 4 there.
And Tyvarius, 1 life Guma is equal to 1 attempt Guma, which is going to be fun. Because Guma, I think, is a decent ways in here, which is going to be a bit of an annoying hike for both of them, really, depending on how much trouble they have. Because Guma is even not attack 4, Guma is not a quick fight.
Okay, so it is a life refill right into Guma, but we still don't have a shield spell or anything like that. We'll have to see how much each of our runners are getting hit for. We've got 7 heart containers on life 4 for Tyvarius and 6 heart containers, Jesus, and life 5 for Devious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh. Guma,
that's over 4 heart containers on life 4.
Yep. And that is a game over for Tyvarius. Yeah, Guma is, as expected, hitting very, very hard right now.
I want to say something about Devious, but we know he's just going to get hit. Well, commentator curse. It's also over 4 heart containers per hit on life 5. So life 5 and life 4 doing very similar work here. Life 5 might not really be any better than life 4 from the looks of it.
Yeah, I don't think so. That is a death for Devious. As I say. as you've previously known, Mariah, this is on the west, so it may at some point, depending on just how bad a day they're having, might just be better to come back here once they've cleared out their other palaces and have somewhat better levels to tackle this Guma rather than their current two-shot status.
Well, we did just get life 6 on Devious' side, so we'll see if this bumps us up to a 3-shot.
We'll find out. Neither runner are using the safety strat where you glitch Guma into the right side and despawn his mace. Otherwise, that would be a very good strat to use here.
It can be a little hard to execute. You gotta be, because Guma doesn't want to approach you. If you approach Guma, he will always like walk back a little bit. And so when you get to the side of the screen there, he always wants to stay off the screen. You really got to bring him out just enough before that flail respawns in your face. And it can be, I've taken several flails to the face before doing those strats. So it can be dangerous if you're not quick to the draw on knocking him back to the off screen.
That is true.
Let me just commentate Curse Devious here as he almost gets Guma down.
And there we are. We will not be finding out how much Attack 6 does compared Life 6 does compared to Life 5, it seems.
Yeah, that was a flawless fight there.
Very nice. So Devious will be the first one out of P5 here at 4320. That is also his second gem. 2 gems to none for Tyvarius.
As we're seeing how the vanilla-like structures itself there, where you can't just use the water usually to get from one side of it to the other. There's usually a mountain range that runs all the way through it, and the only way to get through from one compartment to the other is going to be either those pass-through caves or, at times, those slim, skinny little one-tile walkways.
Yep.
Yeah, Tyvarius taking another death here. Final life on Guma. He needs to get this, but man, you know, it's a lot of time spent and then have to come back later. Always feels bad, and it definitely, without a doubt, you know, will be a good chunk of time that's been spent here in P5 and unsuccessfully getting the boss down. And I don't think he found the item in here either, so he won't be able to turn in the medicine for life.
No. Devious is going to head back to the east. I don't know that Devious has actually realized he can walk directly east from start to reach the cave to the east, which might cut, though not a particular time loss compared to Tyvarius' troubles in P5, so it might not ultimately matter. Just a minor note in terms of what each of them knows about this map.
That is funny. The child is sitting just 3 tiles away from Darunia in that cave.
Yep. And there we are. Guma's down this time for Tyvarius, which is good. I was going to be pretty sad if he'd game over the third time here.
Yeah, if he game over the third time, that would really, really cost him to the point where right now he's still definitely in this game. He just has to do P1. We know P1's very short. He has the hint for the flute. If he remembers that, knowing we don't need the flute, there's no reason to go find that item. And so he'll probably just find Horsehead whenever he's in P1 and get out of there ASAP, which will be slightly faster than what Devious did in there. But we'll see how the rest of these palaces play out for our runners. We haven't seen any other palaces other than 1, 2, and 5 at this point. Oh, and he's got to do 2. Totally forgot about 2. Yep. But Helmet Head, sorry, that's why we forgot about 2, because Helmet Head is literally at the bottom of the first elevator.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and I guess he could save some time here, because Devious did take a game over to Helmet Head. Had to come back in. Or was it a game over? He took at least 2 deaths.
I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, the Devious did lose some amount of time to Helmet Head. And there we go. Very nice for Tyvarius.
Yeah, I will say that some of the bosses feel a little weird to fight from the right-hand side. Their hitbox feels a little different. I don't know what the hitboxes look like visually, and I don't know how you would expect them to flip with the boss, and I don't know how accurate that is on the flip. So it does feel a little weird fighting Helmet Head from the right-hand side there, but he gets it down regardless.
Whatever works. So he's gonna up A, and he will head back to the east, I assume, at this point.
He might be going to Rudo to turn in the trophy for Shield, and he might... Oh, he does not have the medicine, so we're not going to see a life turn in, but I think we're going to see a trophy turn in.
That's a possibility. Not a terrible idea with how combat's been at times this seed. Especially because he's still on relatively low levels, and Tyvarius is relatively new, I believe.
Okay, it seems like he forgot GP was on the west there, or maybe he hadn't seen it because he walked a different way. And we're not going to see that trophy turn in just yet, so...
Yeah, I thought he'd looked at GP earlier, but perhaps not. So now he's going to head east.
Do we know if this is 3 or 6 on Devious' side?
Not that I know of, no. I just know that this is a palace, one of the two. We will find out either by way of the windows or by finding the boss. Eventually. Seen a fair few rooms yet, but nothing conclusive on that end. 6 is noticeably bigger than P3.
Also very busy rooms, it seems. We've got Doom Knockers and Blue Iron Knuckles, all our favorites.
Yep. Taking a drop, which leads into another drop.
Interestingly enough, this is a P6 room right here in Vanilla, but due to the randomizer, that means absolutely nothing. This room could appear in any palace.
Yep. Barbara going to pull a vanishing act today? I don't think so, but for those who missed it, yesterday we had an interesting incident during the Shady vs. CS tutor race where Barbara despawned by accident.
Yeah, that was quite interesting, especially since no one has seen that happen ever in the thousands of seeds that have been played between all of the runners in the last year and a half since 4.0 has introduced bosses via elevator rooms. So yeah, that seems to be such an incredibly rare occurrence. And Shaddy's the only one who have done it. So I guess it becomes the Shaddy skip at this point. I'll certainly refer to it if it ever happens again like that.
It is quite an unusual one.
So I'm going to say this is P3 because there's the candle.
Yeah, that would be a confirmatory indication that this is 3. Yes. Forgot if this was the northern or southern of the 2, 3, and 6, and no one is at the northern end of the map. The other was more in the middle. Doesn't much matter, I suppose.
Yeah, because P1 is going to be our other exposed palace, so P6 is going to be in Valley of Death, as Animus is saying.
Oh, yeah. Right, yeah, this would be the one that's not in the Valley of Death. The sense of direction malfunctioning again, and...
So Tyvarius doing the same move in P1 that Devious did. Saw the last open-air elevator room. I assume he just went up the elevator, saw the boss, but then now he's looking around for the, I guess the item. And here it is. It's be Horsehead version 2. Devious was clipped into the block in such a way to where he couldn't break it. He had to step out of there, but he kept getting knocked back.
Alright. Mini boss Horsehead down for Tyvarius. to get his flute, which he absolutely does not need, and he is out of there.
If
Did place a gem,
anything,
right?
well, if anything, after he saves Hyrule, he can become a flutist, I guess. He could practice something in his spare time. He won't be the sword-wielding hero that he is today.
You did actually beat the boss 4%, right? Because it's not marked on the tracker.
Actually, I don't know the answer to that. We're going to have to look at the gem screen.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't quite distinctly remember him actually fighting the regular horse head. Did he? Chat confirming they didn't see him do it. He has the flute marked and on his personal treasure. We can see on the restream. He has both the flute marked and it marked as the gem placed.
Well, if he still has 4 gems in his menu whenever he brings it up, he has not done P1.
BT's saying that Tyvarius beat the boss, so don't remember him playing Soothing Gem. Well, we will find out. Salu saying he had no experience in place of gem. Okay, well, we seem to have contradictory information as we finally find Rebo. And that is 3 gems, so we are clear. Tyvarius did place gem P1, we don't have to worry, and this will be gem 4 for Devious, so Devious, most of a P3 ahead of Tyvarius right now, basically?
Yeah, we saw the item pickup on Devious' side, but then he got caught up somewhere and had to up an A. So if Tyvarius can find Rebanek sooner or faster than Devious did, he'll be able to help close that gap moving forward here.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a stealthy ninja P1 gem placement from Tyvarius there. Congratulations. Everyone but like 2 people missed it. Slamu letting me know that I'm only average smart. I hope we face off against each other next week, sir. Although that won't make me smart. I can still be average smart even if I do win that race.
Alright, here's P4 for Devious.
Anime is saying that Magic 6 has brought fire down to 8.
And yeah, fire is fairy sparkle, so 8 fairy, very, very nice. What is actually the floor for most expensive a spell can get? I think the ceiling is 128, which is the max points you can get, period, in this game, but I'm not sure about the floor.
I want to say it's either 6 or 8.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was thinking. But 8 is very nice because you can cast it twice per magic bar, 10 total. And 5 magic bars, which is pretty silly. Magic jar here in 4. Thanks, I guess. Don't really need anything at this point, so it doesn't much matter. This is completely useless.
If he has,
chat thinks it's 6.
Yeah, this room is a thunder candidate right here, and then you pick up the red jar and you walk out here with your full magic. And that was a quick P3 for Tyvarius. We'll see if he goes back in for the item. I hope he doesn't, unless he really wants that candle. He does have the hint as well. I think he's the only one to show us that. I don't think Devious checked that hint. Good, and he's out. So Tyvarius closing the gap on Devious here as we're both going to be in P4.
Yep. Yeah, Tyvarius getting through P3 faster than Devious did, and having the boots makes this trip a little faster to P4.
And after this, we just have to move into P6, which could be an absolute nightmare, but we'll just have to wait to find out.
Yes, we will, because P6 is known to be a troll. One of the longest palaces of the game. And, can be quite loopy as a result as we find Karak here.
Not a bad Karak placement, but we had options as Tyvarius is showing us there with this 4-way. Oh, never mind. It's not options. It's a fake loop. So just keep going left.
Yep, elevator that runs right into itself. Thanks, game. At least it's a quick loop as Devious takes a death. Yep. Yeah, so Tyvarius is gonna pick up the magic jar here and keep going. Or not pick up the magic jar, I suppose, just jump past the Doom Knockers and keep going, that works too. Yeah, there's not that many options available to go through here as Karak's down. Or Devious.
Yeah, this is true. It seems like a just standard route right.
Yeah, because I think going right here is going in the correct direction for Tyvarius.
Yeah, so Devious took the 1 death in the item room. He took the death on Karak. Tyvarius was able to make it through the item room, not take that death, and so he didn't have to walk an extra room. We'll see if he dies on Karak. He could get trolled, sort of low health here. Could get trolled on Karak. And if he doesn't, though, that'll be just a little bit of a time save again moving forward.
Yep. Does survive this room intact in one piece, because that one can be a little trolly. Devious is going to the valley on 1 death, on 1 life, I think, which is something. Didn't quite catch. Not quite sure. He is heading there one way or the other, as we are getting Karak now for Tyvarius.
Oh, he didn't up
Yeah, that
okay.
is 1 life valley for Devious. He did not up A, and he's just gonna, well, do a very nice fairy feat.
Unfortunately,
on the first encounter, and again.
I was just going to say, he's casting full fairies here, and he should be casting fire fairies. It happens. That's what happens when you pick up the actual spell, then you want to cast the actual spell.
He is actually using Fire Fairy now, which is good. And Karak's down for Tyvarius first try, so will not have... So, saving time again on P4.
Yeah, I will say, nice fairy feeding from Devious there. That's a huge time save. That might be something that Tyvarius is not too familiar with, so we might see either encounter skips or just ferrying through those lava spike tiles.
Tyvarius accidentally walking 1 tile too far down and has to walk out of here. Don't think that was an intentional walk into the item cave, I think that was just a misinput. And we've got P3 here, P6, sorry, for Devious, a Sprite Green. And overall, I'd say this is a pretty decent seed, Mirai.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Ouch! Devious jumping into that lava pit twice in a row. Yeah, I'd up A2 because that put him down to 1 life.
It's a bad bounce. So the attack. I think he's going low with the attack and the tin suit. Anything that bounces, tin suits and the Firebirds and GP. Anything that bounces like that. If you try to attack low, they can jump. The little bounce gets above where you hit with the weapon, and so you miss them, and then they keep moving.
Doom Knocker also not being nice, but he does eventually get through this room. Tyvarius is also getting some of these fairy feats. I would say this is not a lime green for Devious. It is too dark on his end for, and I think Tyvarius' colors are darker than Devious's, if anything. I presume you missed an N there and you're typing zeroing, saying it's more of a mid-range green, mid-range maybe? It's not like, no, it's not quite avocado, it's kind of a spring green maybe? It's one I associate, I guess, with leaves, so leaf green?
I will approve a leaf green.
Saying leaf green just makes me think of the Pokemon game, so...
So we also get through Death Valley, looking like some fairy feeding from Tyvarius as well.
Yep.
Very nice.
And there looks to be options here in this 6, which is not a surprise, to be honest. It's 6.
All right, so I just figured out what VT Slacker was talking about. Don't bring Pokemon into my Z2R. Leaf Green, I guess, is a Pokemon name of one of the games.
It is. It was a Generation 3 remake of one of the Generation 1 video games, which makes more sense if you know the series otherwise. But yes, that is one I was thinking of. Is Pokemon Leaf Green is a game. Yeah, one of the earliest Pokemons I played, actually, for various reasons.
See, this just confirms that Big Slammer was correct. I am just average smart. Took me a while to get the Pokemon thing.
I mean, it's one that's only contextual. Like, I barely... oh boy, Tyvarius just got looped back to start.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed. Good thing Devious did not take that loop.
Yeah, I don't know if either runners are going to pick up Life or Shield.
I doubt it at this point. They both got decent levels, 5, 6, 7 for both, and 5 magic jars, 7 and 6 heart containers. They never found those magic jars, though. I guess there's probably 2 in DM and a couple in the palaces. I forget where Tyvarius' extra heart container came from. Probably the last, I guess. He had one in the Casido.
All right, so I don't think Tyvarius. Yeah, Tyvarius didn't. I don't think he expected to one-shot that rope, and he just kept moving afterwards right into the lava pit. So that was unfortunate.
Oops.
But Rudo, as far as I'm remembering the West, Rudo is right next to GP. So with both our runners having the trophy, we should definitely turn that in.
Might not be a bad idea, yeah.
I mean, Guma was smacking us around for over 4 heart containers at life 5, and things hit just as hard as Guma does in GP. So, you know, life 7 is good and all, but we're still probably going to see at the minimum 2 heart containers per body from the birds, assuming we see any birds. There might not be too many birds, so.
Or, you know, the GP could be 4 rooms long, because that happens sometimes.
Exactly.
No death for Devious, I think, or just a death. Oh, death, yeah, scatterbrain. The P6 is being P6 here. It's got loops, it's got a lot of rooms, it's got forks, they are both a bit lost in here. I'm lost in here. What's new?
Yeah, I think Clem's got it. Clem pointing out in chat that he thinks it's a left in the lava room. With the platforms and the lava. And so I'm going to say yeah, because we've seen all these rooms on both of our runners so far at this point.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So here's what I'll point out. We're seeing a lot of our runners do these rooms kind of slowly. This is the room that Clem is talking about here. But we have Fire Fairy at 8. And so we need to just be ferrying through a lot of these rooms at this time to just burn that magic. You're getting 2 casts of fairy per magic container in the HUD, and it's just time to go. There's no need to be worrying about downstab and taking hits and getting knocked back and things of that nature. Now, of course, the one thing that you can't use fairy on is getting across that lava room, so they're gonna have to make that jump themselves because there is a glove block right on the other side of it. But yeah, a cheap fire fairy is just completely negates any danger in these rooms. Just if you've got anything in your way, any platform to go up and over that's going to take time, you need to ferry that and go.
Oh, absolutely, because we are now at the hour 6 mark here. Both runners still not in GP, and they have to get moving. I think they both know it at this point that they should be on the move. Very nice to see. There's been nothing trolly about this at all. The 6, I guess, has been about the trolliest thing today. But that's also just P6.
Yeah,
very nice seed, and you know your opponent's got to be right there with you, if not ahead of you.
Yeah, two things about a seed like this. From like a veteran standpoint, it's it's nice to have a jet seed, but also from a newer runner standpoint now. Devious was in the last year's standard tournament. Tyvarius is new to this year's standard tournament. And some of these Z2R seeds can be pretty punishing and pretty demotivating to want to play more of. And it's always nice to see a seed like this be given to runners who are maybe a little less experienced so that they don't feel like they're getting the crap beat out of them. And it's like week 3 is coming. They're like, do I really want to do another one of these seeds? So it's nice to see this seed again given to slightly less experienced runners.
Yeah, because especially as now I'm going nowhere today, but thinking I just got someplace to go, not particularly. But yes, it does often feel like sometimes Sahabat, the one who rolls the seeds in race time, is a sadist and knows that we've got new players and gives them the worst possible seeds in existence, because that happens sometimes.
Yeah, no one who's newer to this game wants to stick around and play the game that's just going to destroy them every time they fire it up. And if they're doing, if every seed takes 2.5 hours from they get through because they've taken 38 deaths or game overs, that's you're never going to collect people for the community in that regard. Z2R already has enough going for it that's against it. So having punishing seeds, not really a benefit to the community and its runners. Veteran runners again have no problem doing things like this, and give me the more difficult seeds, totally fine, because those are the things that really challenge the better runners. And so I'll take a jet seed.
Trails will happily take a attack 4 3 heart GP or whatever they have you. In max random every now and then. That a new runner would not be happy with such.
No, you could find yourself in spots where veterans would have no problem clearing something, but a new runner could take probably just DNF the seed because they're just too bored with it. They're too exhausted. It's just not fun to play. And so, yeah.
It is not amusing nor fun. It is nor fun to be stuck dying 15 times to Guma, for instance.
Exactly. But yeah, we've got this little compartment area over here. We saw that it does loop around to one side, each side of the item room here. And it eventually does lead to Barba, as Devious is on Barba now. Tyvarius will be there shortly, I imagine.
Yeah. Both getting very, very lost in P6, so no particular time gain or loss much here. They just both got turned around, because P6 does that to you. Z2R is a very challenging randomizer. There's a lot to learn. The map randomizer has a lot of quirks you need to keep track of, and then of course there's learning all of the various community rooms and all the randomizer can do with them. I was telling a couple other new runners the other day how to spot some of the dead end rooms in GP, in fact. Like, how, Mirai, there's like these, there's like a few different variants of GP dead end rooms where there's just like these sets of like 2 or 3 blocks in the rows.
Yeah.
Like how all variants of such, there's a few different ones, and
so it's almost like a checkerboard pattern, almost.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, like almost a checkerboard pattern, and all variants of that are dead ends. And a couple of new runners earlier this week didn't know that, and so walked into quite a few of those rooms before realizing, that's a dead end. I should turn around. Versus like experienced runners know if on first sight that those checkerboard type rooms are guaranteed all dead ends of all types, even because there's a few different possible configurations, but they will all be dead ends.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel that you think you want a ferry or something, you can try that. Sometimes there's a ferry in the back of those rooms, but GP is already kind of dangerous. So unless you really need that ferry, I probably wouldn't go in there and check because there's bound to be more enemies in that room anyway.
Yeah. It is also good, of course, yes, to learn item rooms, because you want to know if a room has an item for you. Both to go get it, and or to leave it behind if you don't need the item, and it's a dead-end item room variant.
Alright, so Devious, going back to the Barba fight, Devious was able to one-shot Barba very nicely. Tyvarius took 1 death, although very early on in the fight, and then second attempt was able to knock down Barba. So it's going to be into GP here very shortly, but if he's got the opportunity to pick up shield, whereas Devious has not picked up shield, this might be something that helps immensely in GP. So we're seeing beams there take off over a heart container, it looks like, on Life 7 and Devious's side, which is a lot. Beams are usually about 1 heart container at a nice life level.
Yeah, and they both got pretty decent levels. 667 is pretty solid for new and experienced runners alike, as this spicy chicken decides to kill Devious here. Tyvarius about a minute and 15 seconds behind Devious getting in the door. Minute 12, okay, thank you, Clem, for getting exact timestamps. No shield for either. We will see how this goes. Tyvarius is all the way up to 8 heart containers. I totally missed where. Had those, and Devious up to 7 now. That wasn't 6, I believe. So, as this spicy chicken gives Devious serious business. There we go, finally. This should be. They are both pretty well. They're, other than the lack of life and shield, they're both pretty well equipped here.
Yeah, I will say. Oh. Well, here's Thunderbird. I will say that even myself, I'm a fan of the shield spell. It was right there. It was barely out of the way. It was just simply a screen and a half or so in a basement to get the spell and grab it. And it just allows you to just be a little sloppier in GP. And you can take those hits. You could shield through any of those rooms that are a little tough. And I don't know what I don't need to talk up shield. Shield is a great spell when you just need to be taking damage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It shields you from damage.
Yeah, and for anyone who's wondering, the shield spell is not a randomized value. It is always going to have the incoming damage. That never gets randomized. So it's not like one time you can fire up the game in a certain seed and have a crappy shield spell like you're going to have a crappy life spell. You're always going to have that static halving of damage.
Yeah, it's not gonna be ineffective, but it's also not going to make you practically invincible either. It's guaranteed. Randomized shield would be something.
Yeah, I could not get on board with the randomized shield. There should be some things that kind of make sense. Not everything in the game should be randomized to the full potential of possibility. Otherwise it's just giant RNG fest, and it's like, what is going on?
Yeah, it should still be fun to play the game, not either you're invincible or this does nothing. Shield. As funny as it would be to have shield make you all but invincible, that doesn't make for the most interesting gameplay.
Yeah. That's true too. Yeah, to think that it could be worse, that it could also be better, but yeah, that would really. Yeah, Maybe I'm too old school. Maybe I'm the grumpy old man, but I still think that some things shouldn't be randomized. They should just be static so people can look at them and know exactly what they're getting. Like you say, it does what it says on the tin.
Yeah. Tyvarius is having a bit of a bad day on T-Bird. We've got an upstab block here, and this GP is currently extremely linear.
Yeah, this is Sparkles in the chat. Mirai draws the line at randomized shield.
Make shield so negative and do damage some of the time. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Devious almost with the swag, but unfortunately catches the not far enough, catches the edge of that floor and gets pushed into the lava.
Yep, this platforming room is no neutral. At least it wasn't a king bot, as we find another S-shaped upstab block here. I think that was also our first real fork of this GP so far in that platforming room. So Devious going up and left at the platforms. We'll see if Tyvarius goes straight left or up left. He will probably up A after this. T-Bird, well, he's gonna game over anyway, so there's also that.
Yeah, see, this is shield is my pal, and this is where it's really gonna help.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just a dead end room for Devious here. Might have a fairy at the end of this one.
I was gonna say, I think this is just a dead end, but it does have a fairy, which is nice.
The fairy's not always there. I don't know if it has I don't know if that's an actual property of the room, but sometimes the fairy is not there, or if it's just because there might be so much stuff in the room where it doesn't spawn. But don't quote me either way. I have no idea. I rarely go into that room because I just automatically know it's a dead end these days.
Mm-hmm.
Randomized jump on how high it'll make you jump.
Oh, jeez. I mean, you'd still have to set it to specific. I mean, because jump can be logically relevant in some wonky cases. That would make for some interesting stuff if you randomize the jump height. It might also lead to some problems if you jump too high on every cast. Because, you know, ceilings exist.
Or like the negative shield effect, we could just have a negative jump effect to where it makes you jump less high, or even just sticks you to the ground and completely ruins the ability to jump altogether. No one would ever cast it again.
That's just a funny mental image at that point, as we find a chicken waffles and syrup room here for Devious. Randomized thunder summons that makes T-Bird able to be in, other times it doesn't, and we all lose. That would be something.
Oh, Devious! It looked like he was doing a dive. It was almost like a dive. Oh, and that's a game over for Devious. So he's back to start.
Boom. As Tyvarius takes another death to T-Bird, this is interesting. Make cells reject the reach jump cast, gives you another block. Oh jeez, Patrick. Someone else in chat suggesting make spell turn Link into a random enemy sprite.
I like the idea that some of the hacks have done for Zelda 2 where you can unfairy, you can break out a fairy. You fairy and then you hit the button again and you turn back into Link. And I think there could be some interesting room designs built around that, but hate to rely on that specifically, but it, you know, every once in a while here or there have a room like that requires you to fairy and unfairy.
Tyvarius is still not having a fun time on T-Bird. Okay, the death earlier was because he couldn't cast Thunder and missed that. Thank you, chat.
Clem kind of saying that changing the sprite and get different abilities almost reminded me of like a Castlevania 3 type of setup there.
A zero-cost self-death spell would be kind of nice, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
What's its perks?
Kind of wish we could get that attached to like a button, actually, like we have up and select bound to up and A. I wish we could get something that was configurable to where you could just have a self-death button, because you're stuck in some of those rooms. It's either that or some rooms need to be slightly redesigned so that you can end up giving yourself a death instead of having to up and A out of it.
Yeah.
There's that one jump fairy blocked room in regular palaces that you fall into a pit, and if you kill all the enemies in there, you have to up an A if you don't know any better. Same thing with the item room that we've got, where you don't have the glove or fairy to get out of there. You're stuck and you have to up an A, and it kind of sucks.
Better news, Tyvarius finally beat T-Bird. He's gonna much appreciate his fairy here, though. I believe he does not pick it up and is down to his last life, ? Not sure why he didn't up A or get the fairy in this room, but okay.
That fairy was a fairy that was blocked by 2 fast bubbles, though, wasn't it? It was a little dangerous.
Might have been, I guess. So this blue chicken might... Yeah. There.
Also quite dangerous.
Oh, down to 1 life. Okay, can't count.
Yeah, so TV is showing us that it's a left at this one room here into the waffles over lava. And then I don't know what we've got after that. Oh, after that is what we call a winter solstice room. I don't know if it has a nickname to it, but it's got this one it can have a variation of enemies in it, always generators, but this one has the raw heads in it, as he'll show us after this.
First has to avoid the chickens and getting through this chicken waffles and syrup room. So named after the chickens, waffle, and lava. Yeah, this room is fun, as Devious takes death, and Tyvarius navigates those platforms very well.
Yeah, so Tyvarius actually making the better routing decision here again. It's just a guess, right? Do you want to go up or do you want to... There's 2 lefts. Just pick a left and go. And he's going to take the correct left, although it does not have any lives left. So we'll see how fast he gets through here and what he can do in the next room.
Yeah, because this room's not the chickens aren't too bad here because you can keep them locked in, but you'll have to avoid the projectiles as I say that.
Devious making it through. Few bops. Each of those heads is probably going to take off about a heart container.
Tyvarius is in a bit of a trouble pickle. There we go. It is very easy to fall in the block when you've got the blocks broken the way he had it. And this room might honestly do him in. Does take down that raw head and gets a jar for his trouble, so not having life, it's only going to do so much. Does take down both flying enemies, which is good, and does not jump into a lava pit. There's another one. Oh, and there's the Dark Link. Tyvarius just behind, but a little too far behind here.
Yeah, those Thunderbird deaths really cost him at the end of this. Although he's going left now.
Makes sense because he's on so low health. He doesn't feel like dealing with another chicken in the waffles room, but so close yet so far. T-Bird deaths. Ouch for Tyvarius. There we are. GG's to Devious gonna take this race and go to 1-1 here in Swiss with a time of 1:23:01. And with that game over, Tyvarius has not quit. GG's.
Yeah, that was not a bad race for these runners. Again, pretty jetty seed and pretty open and nothing too trolly. So other than a choice for an early Guma fight, and of course then Thunderbird near the end, there was a little trolly for Tyvarius, but overall pretty straightforward.
Yep, nice race. Yeah, we'll see if we can get either of them in for an interview. Devious will be joining us, just needs to catch his breath, and we'll see about Tyvarius. Tyvarius saying his C5 was an unmitigated disaster. Yeah, I don't think he had the best of time in that one.
So other than this race here, we've got one other race tonight coming up, and then that's going to close out our week. And yeah, that's we're going to get new week rolled tomorrow night. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in a moment. But I'm just waiting for our runners up. We do have Devious in the waiting room, so we'll hold that thought, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yep. Which reminds me, I'd honestly have forgotten we have a race tonight. It is not on the research schedule. I don't remember when that was added, but I will go sort that out after this, and we'll see if we can get a crew together for it.
Yeah, that would have been added just last night.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was last night, this morning, or when, but yeah. Looks like that was last night, and I'm just scatterbrained. Anywho, we'll sort that out. In the meantime, though, let me get Devious in here.
They're pretty much doing their own post-race interview in the race room. Devious, welcome.
GG's.
Hey, sorry. Thank you.
Just recapping what you guys are talking about here in the race room. I don't know if Tyvarius is going to be joining us or not, but yes, GG's. That was not a bad seed. Pretty open-ended seed here.
Yeah, I mean, it felt pretty straightforward, which was nice. Like I felt like I didn't have to like run around and Yeah, I feel like I had a plan and the plan was working, and the whole thing was just like keep your cool, you know, try not to do anything stupid, and don't be afraid to use magic to get out of weird situations. So, yeah, this one felt good.
Yeah. Okay. So, quick question: both of you picked up the shield. Both of you had the knowledge that trophy was shield, and both of you picked up the shield trophy very early on the east. But nobody turned it in. Neither one of you turned it in at any point, even before the Guma fight and P5, or before GP. And Rudo was right next to GP. Was that something you forgot about, or were you just going in? You're like, we need to pro strat this GP here without shield.
I knew it was there. It was on my mind a lot. But I GPs can be very short and kind, and they can be very long and disastrous. So my thought was, I'll do a GP dive. We'll see how that first one goes, and if it ends up being a slog, then I can go back and get shield. But I can't, like, save the minute it takes to go and get it and come back out. That was my thinking. It might have saved me the game over, but yeah, that was the thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tyvarius has
Also,
joined us. Welcome.
Yeah,
GG.
GG's.
Hey, thanks. That felt like such a jet up until I died like 10 times. Whoops. Where did I
Yeah,
go?
this was a pretty nice scene we were commenting on it. Nothing particularly trolly. You had a fairly nice vanilla like west. Maze Island wasn't terrible, and then the east was a dried canyon, so
Yeah.
that went pretty well. Never saw Death Mountain. Don't even know where the raft tile is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I don't know about. I kind of told Devious in the post race room. Those deaths to Guma just tilted me. And I'm like, well, knowing how this seed went, I have to cook, and then only having 5 magic jars for T-Bird and absolutely no safeties. I'm like, all right, let's see how bad this is.
This was a pretty close race between you guys. You guys were back and forth for most of it, doing things around the same time, just finding stuff. And then you guys were like often like neck and neck throughout a lot of the later for most of the palaces, really. And we're very, very close in GP, but T-Bird really did you in Tiberius, I'm afraid. That felt bad.
Yeah, it's all good. It'll happen.
Like Devious, Tiberius was like 2 rooms behind you and at the end of GP there, but it was down to his last life in like 2 hearts. So upon seeing that last chicken and waffles room went the other way, would not have mattered because you were about to beat Darklink there anyway, but it was a good and close race.
Yeah.
Very nice
Oh.
seed. One of the nicest I've seen lately.
Darklink was on the other side of chicken and waffles at the end there.
Yeah, you were like you went back down the elevator because he had so little health, and Darklink was just on the other side.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dang.
Yeah. I think there was a 72 second, I believe it was minute 12, 72 second difference between GP entries there. So Devious was first in, Tyvarius, you were second in. So it was very close there. Tyvarius, you did a few things a little bit faster. Devious, you pulled out the candle from P3 and then you found Rebanak, whereas Tyvarius did not find the candle in P3, just found Rebanak first and was out of there. So that was a small bit of time save. There were a small bit of time saves here and there from Tyvarius, but you were a little further behind, so it wasn't enough. But had you not taken Tyvarius, had you not taken all the deaths to T-Bird, it would be interesting to see how that played out, because when it came to that first branch where you could go up and left or stay down and left, Devious, you went up and left first. It was a second 2-shaped upstab block, and that was, of course, a dead end that you up and aid out of. But when Tyvarius saw it, he stayed down. He stayed on the ground floor and kept moving. So had that happened in a closer race, it would have been interesting to see how that played out. But at the end of the day, that is not how it played out. And Devious, you were first to Darklink, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's like the blessing and the curse of fairly linear seeds.
Mhm.
Is it's nice because everything's kind of following lockstep, but then every mistake means that much more pressure, because if your opponent didn't make that mistake, then it's like you said, it's a constant back and forth of time. So like wandering around P5 for a while, my P6 took forever.
You both got pretty lost in there. That was one of the nastiest parts of this seed. Is just P6 was P6 loops, turns, lots of rooms. Basically, P6, P6.
Yeah. So.
Also, early choice to go into P5 for both of you. Both of you did. Actually, Devious, you did P1 first on the east, and then you came back to the west. You did P2 first, and then you did P5. And Tyvarius, you jumped into P5 first, I believe. You were both at attack 4, and what was it? Tyvarius, you had life. I can't remember. It was very
close to 4 as well.
Yeah, I think it was life 4, and then Devious was at life 5, but then got a level. You got a life level, and then you were able to take down Guma. But you were both right there. And as I had talked about in the commentary while the race was going on, I don't know if this is the way you wanted to route it or anything, but if you were concerned that Guma was going to be hard like that, a little tougher, with GP being on the west and P5 being on the west, it could have been that you could have tackled those western palaces last and then just hit up GP afterwards. It's always a thought, but I mean, that was kind of a trolley P5, and you both got beat up a little bit by Guma on those early levels. So I don't know, it depends on how fast you want to move and which palaces you want to take, which route you want to take. But yeah, you both did those palaces at the same time and we're like, I don't know, might be worth holding off. But you both did it. So fantastic.
Yeah, that was just boneheadedness on my part. I'm like, all right, I think I have everything I need for go mode. If I find safeties on the way, great, let's go. Just start diving palaces. And I knew I just wanted to clear west, then move on to east because I wanted to come back and get down stab. I'm like, all right, palaces, let's go. And 5 was the first one I walked into, and me being just a stone head, I'm just like, I know the path to Guma. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, my thinking, because like we got the early, no, I mean relatively early ability to get down stab, and I still had some things I wanted to explore. Like I don't exactly remember. Well, I guess we picked up jump, and then I found the path to the east and wanted to kind of see where that went, see if I could find other spells and so forth. So once I hit go, like palace go mode, and knew that the kid was somewhere in the east, I have up stab, I'm gonna reset out and then just 2-5 jump over to the east, hit all of the other ones. But then when I got spell, I think what was it, spell? Oh, right. Spell went to Boots, and then Boots was the any key. So that was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just do 1 since it's right here. Then I'll go back and get down stab. So, and yeah, Guma, like halfway through 5, I was like, well, even going into 5, I was thinking, attack 4. I like to be attack 5, but, sometime, again, Guma's Guma, Rando's gonna Rando. You never know what you're gonna get. So I decided if I got stuck going into 5, I had the options of life, shield, higher levels. So I was gonna give it 1 dive and then potentially come back if I needed to. So that was at least the plan. And luckily got it on the first dive. So
I did chuckle that the lady lost her kid 2 feet from town.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of realistic, though.
It is, yeah. You just go to the little forest or the little cave outside of town and get scared. So
It's realistic. It's just always funny. It's like you kind of just gotten him yourself.
Pleasantly surprised that the lady at New Kasuta let us in with 5 containers too.
I was shocked.
4 seeds in a row where it's been 7.
Oh yeah, it's very rare for the randomizer to be that nice. Randomizer in general is pretty nice. Threw a boatload of chickens at you in GP, but besides, and 6 is kind of bad. But otherwise, yeah, I mean your biomes are stupid nice.
Yeah.
Vanilla Shuffle, Vanilla Like can still be pretty trolly, but today's was pretty decent. You could walk pretty much everywhere without real difficulty. No boot flocks or anything, because those can be boot flocks sometimes.
Mhm.
Uh, but other than that, this island was a fairly decent layout. The bridge was a nice connector to a few places, and there was just nothing all that terrible about the scene. You get the things and you get going.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice to not have to freak out about like where are all the connectors and then you've got to take this connector to this other small area for this connector to get to this other place to then wrap back around. Like the fact that we didn't have to worry about all that definitely felt good.
I'm
Is
not
that
even
a,
sure
is
where
that
the raft tile is, to be honest. I think it must be in the southern end of the east or something, because we never
that?
saw it, but you never needed it, so that's good.
I think I sense some passive aggressiveness towards a vanilla shuffled map.
Why would Devious ever have any reason to hate a vanilla shuffled map in this Swiss rounds?
Never. Well, the really early hammer that was completely useless was kind of a nice little troll for this one, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hadn't fully explored the East when I went back for P1.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, I know Horsehead has the flute. So just in case Three-Eyed Rock is in play, I'm going to dive back for the flute. So that could have been avoided too, which I should have known with how nice the rest of the seed was that I wasn't going to need it. Sorry,
Mm.
Krista. But your River Devil was useless today.
I mean, yeah, because River Devil is like 99.9% guaranteed what useless in a dried canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's just is so rare for a dried canyon to be lock any kind of anything. Like maybe there's a really stupidly placed lake or something, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Um,
lucky to go south, find the connector to Maze Island, go through Maze Island, and then find the bridge back to the top of the east. So
Yeah.
got a pretty good picture of everything pretty early on.
Nice.
yeah. And dried canyons are nice just because you're just there's just no blocks to anywhere. You just
Mhm.
have to walk the entire length. You do have to be careful to not accidentally miss something on the edge of the map because that happens sometimes. And otherwise, it's wide open. No three-eyed rock or anything. So yeah, you guys were safe from any kind of blocks in that east. And it's just nice sometimes to get a perfectly boring, normal, nothing wacky seed. We get a lot of trolley stuff as we discussed on comms. So it's
Yeah,
nice to get something that's perfectly decent for a change. I would say average, but average is often not very nice.
compared to my 2 seeds that I ran for their last race, it was nice to have something a little more straightforward instead of walking around Death Mountain 3 times looking for a connector
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I had
I
to
want to say
chuckle at.
thank you.
Yeah, I
Go
had
ahead,
to
sorry.
chuckle. Sorry, I had to chuckle at you, Devious, in the race from saying that your goal for this race was to only have to play one seed.
Yep. Mission accomplished.
You did get
Yep.
that one. Yeah, GG's.
No, yeah, I just want to say I got to get going here shortly, but GG's again, Devious. Well played. Good luck in the next round. Thank you, Mariah and Star, for coming, and everyone here at ZSR. I'm not sure who we had tracking, but thank you for tracking.
Anonymous.
Yeah, GG's.
Nice.
GG's. So, any last words from anyone else before I take us out?
No, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for coming. I'm looking forward to watching this. I'm excited to see, a closer race and learn from what you guys have to say. So, thank you.
Same.
Jeez. So, give our runners here a follow, Tyvarius and DeviousRNG, to my co-com Mirai, and to our tracker Animus, doing all the clickety-clack behind the scenes. This will be it here for us today on CSR4. Only restream on here today for all that. This was a really chaotic day. Currently over on CSR Main, we've got dealing with past Randomizer Krosky's Tournament 2022. Swiss round 4 between Wolfie and Andy. We'll be reading them shortly. We might, depending if we can find volunteers, have an OTR restream standard any weekly race at 6 p.m. Eastern on ZSR2. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, we will be back on CSR2 with the restream of the final Swiss round 2 match of this tournament between Level Engine and Paratroopa. It should be fun. We will. In the meantime, we just put that up on the schedule. Thank you, Miss, for doing that. So, if people are available, please put your names up in appropriate places. And thank you for watching, all. Let's go see how Krosky's is doing.